My name is Benjamin Ezra Dikki, Director General Bureau of Public Enterprises.
Good. Now, looking at the power privatization, what's the journey so far? Knowing that BPE has played a key role in the privatization process.
The good news is that we're making progress. The DISCOs are improving the infrastructure. They're changing cables, changing transformers, and stabilizing the water power supply to their own last mile users, the customers. The generating companies are also doing the normal turnaround maintenances, making sure that the machines that have not been had a turnaround maintenance since they were built 50 years ago, they are gradually doing the turnaround maintenance for KNG, for Egbin, and so on. So generation is stabilizing also, and they are also making plans for new generation capacities. On the transmission side also, a lot of initiatives are being done to improve the transmission. So we are on the right course.
On the NIPP, any update? NIPP privatization?
Now, on the NIPP, what is stalling the conclusion of the transaction is gas. Unless you have gas contracts signed, the transactions will not be bankable. So we're trying to figure out how to sort out the gas supply issues and be able to sign the gas contracts. Now, we intend to probably look at the power plants on a case-by-case basis. Those we can assure sustainable gas supply, we'll sign the contracts and ask them to pay. Now, those are the initiatives we are considering, and as soon as we sort out these issues, we will get back to you.
And finally, let's look at the transmission sector. Do we hope to see the privatization of that sector anytime soon?
Let me put it this way. You see, the infrastructure had greatly decayed, and it was not possible for any private sector individual to buy or take concession of the transmission network until we're able to get it to a reliable level of service. What the government is doing currently now is to improve the network. Secondly, you cannot concession or privatize the transmission network with 3,000, 5,000 megawatts of power. When you attain 100,000 megawatts, then it will make economic sense for any person to charge the wheeling charges will make it sustainable for you to maintain the infrastructure and still make a reasonable rate of return. So until we improve the network and until we get the power supply to a certain reasonable volume, we cannot envisage private sector involvement. But that's where we're heading to. Subsequently, when we attain maybe over 100,000 megawatts, we will consider either concessioning the transmission company or privatizing it.
I think I should ask you one more question.
Sure.
What's the next big thing that we should expect from BPE?
Transportation. Now, the major contributors to the cost of doing business is power and transportation in Nigeria. Right now, we spend a lot wheeling goods from the ports by road, because until recently our rail network was comatose. But the transformation agenda of President Goodluck has revived the railway, and we're having goods moving from Lagos to Kano and such other locations. Now, transport is the next thing we're working on, and we have reform bills in those areas. We have the road bill, the inland waterways bill, the ports and harbour bill, and the railway bill. Once those bills are enacted and regulatory agencies set up, we will move on to concessioning of roads. We're looking forward to when the transport sector will also be driven by the private sector and government becomes just a catalyst and a facilitator. So that's the next big thing we're working on.